And we're waiting on
And
Amanda too. Or is Amanda joining us? Or Jen is supposed to
I
join
don't
us?
think so. Jen will be joining us. But guys, here it is. We are live. What's up, Patreon? What's up, Patreon? Drill Sergeant here. And we have an amazing special guest. But before I even introduce the special guest, you all know the amazing Laura Malcolm from Canadian Drain, giving us all that Canada news. Um,
Being
which,
smug.
yeah, being smug up there. Uh, and we have someone new here for you, one of the writers, and actually has just kind of stepped into one of the executive assistant roles. We have Danny. What's going on, Danny? What's going on?
Just growing a lot of food, tending chickens, and trying to survive another day.
I love it. We're gonna be
Life
talking
in
about growing food
America.
too. I didn't think about that, but we need to be talking about this mutual aid and community
Yeah.
garden and growing food. So I'm glad you're here. But our honored guest, our honored special guest today is Sunny from Tell the People with Sunny and W1. She's been a guest on the Sons of Liberty podcast. I was a guest and Big Sarge was a guest on their podcast or YouTube show. And
I really
now
enjoyed
we
that.
yeah, and it's always been awesome. It's always been fun. And so now we get to have her on our show. Sunny, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on. I'm good. I'm doing great. Getting through the
Ex-
madness, growing food.
You also growing food, huh?
Yeah, I do. Uh-huh.
Well,
I've
you know
got
what?
no
It's
peace
really
on it all. My
soothing.
mom
It's
does
soothing.
all the gardening. I just take whatever she grows.
Yeah.
you're, you're a taker. You're a
I'm a
taker,
taker.
Laura.
I'm a taker. I'm a burden.
So, all right. Well, I didn't know that. Tell me about that. Sunny, you say you're growing food too?
Yeah, I grow, the essentials. I haven't gotten into growing lettuce, but I do grow like tomatoes and herbs and things like that. We are pescatarians over here trying to wing our way into just straight vegetarian. And
Mm-hmm.
so I want to get some chickens, but my husband is like, we're not getting chickens. So
I'm not letting me get it either.
Oh no!
I wanted a
I
yeah,
love
goose.
my
okay.
chicken.
But yeah, we go to the farmers market all the time. So I just, with this administration, and I used to talk about it all the time when he was in office before, I talked about growing your own vegetables because you don't know what this man is going to do. So this
Yep.
time around, I'm like, y'all should have been growing your vegetables when I told you to grow your vegetables. You know what I'm saying? So the stuff is
100% correct. 100% correct. You know what? So this is the problem with me is we have a rundown, but then things like this happen, and I'm gonna move. I gotta go to this. We gotta be talking about mutual aid. Some of you saw if you're out there, especially on Patreon. But as we get to the main show, many of you saw that I put out political drain is taking a small pivot. Like we are always about the resistance. We're always about the resistance network. But after that big beautiful bill came out, we realized that we absolutely have to be in conjunction with mutual aid. We have to be pushing mutual aid networks. We have to become a mutual aid network. And part of that is community gardens, growing food, right? Because prices aren't coming down. Um, People are going to be in need now that many of the programs that people used to use will be getting cut off. So I'm all about that. I'm all about that. In my neighborhood, we have a lot of, uh, I'll say Latinos. I believe a lot of Mexicans, maybe some Cubans as well, but they have no problem with chickens in the backyard. You're gonna hear that for about an hour or two in the middle of the city, and whoever has a problem with it got to just get used to it. I
Yeah,
plan on doing that exact same thing.
Cat's
Uh,
Cat's Amanda in the chat is saying, "Yeah, good for you, Sonny. I want chickens too, but I'm afraid of the bird flu. So we got to,
Oh.
exactly.
Bird flu is a big concern of mine too with my flock. They are my precious angels. but it's actually pretty preventable if you're doing backyard farming. It's actually easier to prevent with backyard farming than it is with commercial farming.
Oh, okay, good. Good to know.
Right. Right. So I have heard, not that I'm a big time farmer or anything, even though, my mom is, and I come from a family of farmers in Jamaica. I have heard exactly what Danny says. You make sure that your birds don't have contact or aren't free roaming or anything like that. You're pretty much safe from any of that bird flu contact. Um, but anyway, that's what's up. I want us to get into that, and I think maybe we'll start a little how to farm or how to get a community garden growing.
I was also
Uh,
thinking of the barter economies. There have been some models we can look at on barter economies.
the barter economies. Okay, yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've been working a lot on trying to build that up around where I live, slowly,
how so?
slowly.
And
Right now, oh, go ahead.
no. I was jumping ahead of
Uh,
myself anyway. Go go on with your thought.
yeah, it's really hard. It's slow going. I live in a very red state, and I'm an extremely blue person in almost every way conceivable. But for me, I'm working on setting up basically Excel spreadsheets that say, here's a service I can provide, and here's what I need,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that people go into it and see, oh, hey, this person can provide, this person has Tylenol. I really need some Tylenol. And they need flour. I have extra flour, kind of
Right.
thing. So I'm trying to kind of work that in with my gardening, slowly, baby steps, making little pathways by posting on the local neighborhood apps and stuff, like, hey, I have some vegetable starts. And then I'll put in a little clue about the kind of person I am. And I'm like, if you're interested in trading and learning and working together through what's to come, send me an email. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm working on locally right
That's
now
the
to get
next
that
thing,
going.
is the medicine part of it. Access to even EMTs or paramedics or anything, pharmacists, or it's going to be
this
hell.
is some
Yeah.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Danny, I'm gonna hit. You're about to become a new host on Political Drain. Now we just started a whole new show.
Yeah.
You gonna be ready for that, right?
You know what? That's literally on one of the lists I was making. Is I'd be happy to host a show about how do you survive in a more
Yeah, we
down on the
gotta
ground.
become preppers now. Jeez, I think we started
I
late.
I grew up Mormon. I grew up Mormon, and Mormons are huge preppers. Like, I'm pretty sure they started the big prepper movement that you see in places like Idaho and Montana, because Mormons were always taught, I don't know if they teach it still because they change things, but we were always taught that at some point you're going to have a full year where there will be no access to the normal things. So you need a full year of food, a full year of water, a full year of emergency cooking stoves, a full year of how to take care of your waste, um, a full year of seeds to grow in your garden, and then
Water,
bartering items.
water.
Water, water, water. Here's how you put it in containers out of your gutter. Here's how you purify it. And
Wow.
so when I stop and think about it, even though I'm very much not a Utah Mormon, being in Utah is actually one of the safest places I could be right now as far as that goes, because people here live for prepping.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
Well, if
Idaho too. You're in Idaho.
if it goes down, I'll have to go to come meet you in Utah.
Yeah.
Go for it. I have an extra bedroom right now.
Well,
Use a
listen.
few more blues there.
The reason why we're talking about this is because it's gone down. It's going down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going down. So I want to get to you, Sonny. Last time we spoke, they hadn't passed the big ugly bill, and we're just gonna go with that first. We can get to Alcatraz after that, but this bill, I mean, we would take 5 hours to talk about everything that's being cut, or that's wrong with it. But why don't you tell the people, tell the people, tell our people about your channel. Tell the people about what you're all about, and I want to hear your reaction to this big beautiful bill. What do we need to be talking about?
Okay, so well, on my channel, basically, this year, I was advocating for people to get out and vote, and make sure to get out and vote for Kamala Harris. I knocked on doors, and I told a lot of people, you got to get and vote. This is important. This is probably one of the most important elections of your lifetime. Needless to say, nobody listened. Okay, so.
You don't say.
But you know me, I still think he cheated, but that's just me. So he stole this election. So
we can talk about that too. Give it a minute. We'll give it a minute. We can talk about too. We'll talk about that when we get to the public live. I want to hear people got to say.
My channel is at this point, I do more of boycotting stuff. So I do. I have a video that's out. I got it's almost 1.7 million views, which helped my channel to go viral. Telling people where to boycott when he first got elected, who voted for Project 2025 is the name of the video. And so what I do now from that video, and I've gotten emails from corporate companies that said, we didn't donate to Project 2025, but companies, yeah. So I'm like, okay, so I go in and I correct it, or I put a statement in the comment list and let people know that this company says they did not, vote for Donald Trump. They don't vote for Donald Trump. Most companies don't vote as the people within the companies. That makes sense. So most organizations don't give money to political parties. It's the people inside the company. Anyway, it doesn't matter to me, right? Because if people in your company or the people that's on top of your company, I can't think right now because I'm going through the menopause. So
board members,
brain blacks out.
It's all right. It's all right.
The
board members
and stuff like that. They donate, right? But they don't donate behind the company, if that makes sense. It's the people within the company. So if you have most of the people in your company are voting red or voted for Donald Trump, you voted for Project 2025. That's the bottom line. And so I just put it out there and I update it. I've given names of Black companies or Black American companies or Black businesses so that people understand you got to go support these Black businesses as well, because this is crucial during this time with this whole DEI stuff. So I put a list of, so I put out stuff like that. That's what I do. At this point, boycotting for Black American people is the most important thing for us to do in this moment. Our fight is not in the streets. I try to stress that. We cannot keep going to the streets. We're not going to the streets. It's up to everybody else to do the work this time. We can't afford to do it because they will start martial law if Black people get out there and start marching. I mean, that's just it.
Absolutely.
And so that's part of what I talk about on my channel. But I talk about other things, as well.
So
I just give out information.
One of them went. The one that went viral was that list, the boycott list, right?
The boycott list, yeah.
Well, what you had now, was that like 1 million views or something like that?
It's almost 1.7. It's crazy.
Nobody deserves it more. Okay. So the reason why you're telling people that they need to vote is because of what we just saw pass. What was it, last Friday? It feels like it's been weeks, but it was just a few days ago. Your response. There's a million things to talk about. What scares you the most? What is bringing up our prepper, our doomsday prepper bone in us with this bill for you?
Donald Trump having the ability to ignore the courts is more important to me. I don't, you know, fortunately for me, you know, my husband has a good job, so I'm not on Medicaid and Medicare or anything like that. But I try to I think it's important because I care about people, and you know, I always stress they're going to take away Medicare or Medicaid, which is important. You know, they're going to, you know, gut it to death.
Yep.
So I know once they start gutting things, the crime rate will get high. It's going to get higher.
Yep.
Some people just don't understand that. They don't want to, you know, they don't think the crime rate. I had somebody say the crime rate. What does the crime rate have to do with it? Because when I explained it like this, remember when George Bush went into Iraq and they removed all those people from the government, and those people had to feed their families, and they overthrew. They came in. They started this insurgency, right, to overthrow, and then that started the whole war. All these insurgents are coming. I said, well, be ready for insurgents in America, because people are going to have to feed their families. That's the bottom line.
And he's already talking about throwing U.S. citizens out of the country. So,
because he knows what's coming, and I don't mean to explain it like that. I'm like saying it's Armageddon or anything like that. But I mean, people. I grew up in the 80s, and I remember the Reagan era. It wasn't good, you know. People would start. People were hungry. There were government food lines and food banks where people had to stand in line and get government cheese. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember the cheese.
Yeah. So, you know, and I said it's going to be like that. It's going to be like that for a minute. As long as this man is alive and still in office, it will be like that. Well,
that's
you people have to get in line and get food, and they want it like that. The Heritage Foundation wants it that way. So people will have to, you know, depend on church to give them things. It is a. Can I curse on this channel?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
No.
Hell yeah.
It's a whole mind fuck. They don't want people to depend on anything. They want people to depend on churches. And I do believe, I just read today a headline where they are saying that churches do not have to pay taxes. So churches won't be paying taxes. They can get into, they can get involved in political stuff.
And now they're allowed to
no such thing as church and
political candidates as of today. The IRS.
Wait, what?
The IRS said today that now churches are allowed to endorse
political. Yes, that's what it was.
Political.
Yep. So let's just I want to talk about that.
I mean, that's not good.
Nope.
It's part of the plan.
But
so wait a minute.
But it works both ways.
Right.
I had a good quote I'm trying to find here, but it's the reason why every authoritarian regime has, the first thing they do is get rid of the elderly. They get rid of safety nets. Yeah. And that's because the main reason, the quote was so much better than I can say, but the idea is, once people have no choice but to come begging to the leader for everything, and he can hand out whatever it is, you have no choice but to trust in him, but to get rid of all of your autonomy, get rid of your social networks, get rid of your familial ties, your county ties, your state ties. All the ties belong to him, and all the power belongs to him. Right. So if you don't want to starve, you get in line. And that's the main reason why they're getting rid of all of this stuff. That's the main reason. I called it the interconnectedness of life. In one of my shows, I went in on this lady who was talking about people on welfare and food stamps, and how they're going to be gone, and the work, and just making real fun of them. So I outed her, and I put up where
Yeah.
she worked, and they fired her, and we got her fired.
Good.
But in that, yeah, we got her fired because she was a low class human scum. And more importantly, what happened was in that video, I said to her, "Listen, while you are there talking about taking poor people off of this program and that program because you're so good in your gated community, because we also found out where she lived, because you don't understand the interconnectedness of life, that gated community can't stop the people that are going to come with the pitchforks coming for you when you take away their food.
Mm-hmm.
It's also for you that we have a safety net, dumbass. It's for you. Because if you want to go where I came from, in Jamaica in the 80s, find out then what not having food is like, and what the streets look like, and how safe you are on it with your house on a hill, and how unstable that gate is. The interconnectedness of life will show you, and that's exactly where we're headed. You're 100% right. But I want to talk about real quick what you were mentioning about the court system. That's the biggest issue, one of the big issues, and that is that in the big ugly bill, these people actually made it so that you, in order to sue, the details is hard to get, but in order to sue anybody, in order to get recompense, is you have to be rich. You have to be able to pay the court, right? So not only does that affect just normal everyday stuff, but it also means that you can't sue the government, and you can't sue when Donald Trump does something illegal or whatever's being done, from birthright citizenship or whatever. It turns out that whatever that is, you can't do anymore, and the people who can will be the people who don't want to do it. That's scary, people. That's scary. One of the first things people say is, "Go ahead."
Oh, I suspect there are going to be lawsuits about this because that just kind of outdoes everything that's in the Constitution about how we can and can't use the court system. And I know Trump and his administration are completely ignoring that. They don't care. But in the meantime, I strongly suspect this particular portion of it is going to end up in a big lawsuit. I'm hoping that Mark Elias shows up with democracy docket because he knows what he's doing, but this isn't his usual forte. But it is too close akin to a poll tax for me to think that it would be constitutionally acceptable. I mean, we do have to question our current SCOTUS, but I think as it makes its way through, we're going to see people saying, no, you can't make people pay until after the fact, after we determine who is at fault.
Right.
I don't know. That's what I think is most likely going to happen with this one.
Has to happen right now because that's the point of the bill. As you just said, you see how devastating it is until you think about it and until you realize what you just said. Once it goes into effect, which just signed into law, if somebody, you can't do that. You can't sue. You cannot sue to say that this is the case. Like, what does that
that's
mean?
only one way out for him.
Yeah. And that is it. I know it's scary for people to think, but listen, we got to impeach the guy, or he's got to grow old and die in office, or we got to throw him out like they used to do the kings back in the 1600s. Man, it's getting that serious. And I don't preach violence or anything on the channel, but after what I saw yesterday morning in MacArthur Park, where we have people cosplaying as military personnel, destroying the grass and with nothing else because nobody else was there in the park, just to show their force, right?
No, there were people there. There were kids there
There were
playing.
people there.
And they
Children,
actually told some people who were there that are always there to assist homeless people, feeding them meals and whatnot. They at gunpoint said leave.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
The mayor actually came down and ran them out because she was so mad.
Yeah, they had to run
out
so they wouldn't see this going on. Unbelievable.
I think it's sad. I think it's first. I think it's disgusting. Number one, that they are doing this. I don't know what people are thinking. I was watching some channel that just popped up on my page, and I'm thinking, what channel is this? And I didn't know the guy was the Republican, but I started reading comments because I like to read comments because I want to get a feel of what people are thinking. And people were like, she needs to be arrested, and they need to take her away. And I'm like, well, she's committing treason. I was like, I'm committing treason. Hello. And he's president because you put him there. So I've been going on here all morning long. This is why I was like, I gotta have my coffee.
Yeah, please get that coffee. Nah, so not only you were going in, I too have been relieving my stress through alternative means on the internet. And one of them is I did a video. I'm gonna let you guys watch this and we're gonna respond to it. Let's see how savvy I am, how quick I am. I usually don't use StreamYard. But I did a video on this because I think that there was something that fake ass Border Patrol said that was super alarming. And yes, it also does have to do with the big beautiful bill. Because in that bill, he has decided, the Republican Party has decided to give over $170 billion to ICE over 10 years.
Right.
That makes it the third most expensive military arm in the world. There's America, there's China, and then there's ICE. Not Russia, not the UK, not Japan, not Australia. There's ICE. Now, I shouldn't have to say very much about why that should scare the absolute bat shit out of everybody. But the main problem that they had, what was keeping us, was they never had enough people. They're recruiting from all these stupid militia folks. But now they have the money to build detention centers and to keep an army in America, which is what they didn't have. I would tell people all the time, martial law is coming, but not in the way you think, because there's just not enough. We don't have enough people in the military to contain 300 million. It can happen in other countries because they don't have nearly the size with the actual ground, land, and with the number of people that America has. It's very unique. And there's no way they can do that. Well, now you can pull any bum off the street and use some of that 170 billion to get the forces that you want, so they too can cosplay and play pretend, dress up Ken Barbie dolls. Let's watch this. Come on, Skills. You can do it. There we go. Okay, so boom, so everybody can see it. What's up, Family Liberty? Drill Sergeant, aka Admin Doug here. And can everybody hear it?
Yeah.
All right.
We good.
You thought for sure I was just gonna let Big Sarge take all the fun? while he's talking about these absolute science-denying, low IQ, micro-dick, bullshit, fuckface, MAGA idiots that would rather come up with conspiracy theaters than address climate change. He's right. But in other authoritarian micro-penis news, yesterday morning at MacArthur Park in LA, a flock of fake-ass, pussy-ass rent-a-cops, otherwise known as Border Patrol, played dress-up with each other. And they just trampled an entire park full of really pretty, really well-cut grass. The poor grass. Will somebody save the grass, please? And for what? Why did they do this? For no reason. Well, none other than, of course, to stroke their own ego, but to stroke each other's egos, because Lord knows their wives stopped stroking anything on them years ago. They had armored vehicles. They played dress up like the soldiers that they could never actually be, because they were too scared to go through actual boot camp. Basic training is what it's called. And they would all run home crying to their mommies if they would ever see a motherfucker like Drill Sergeant with a war face peering underneath the shadow of a crisp-ass brown and a knife hand straight as fuck. Huh? It's coming to instruct them on the skills and the mental discipline necessary to be a real soldier. They're all pussies, what I'm saying. All of them. And it don't even taste good. Wait a minute. That wasn't the right part. I apologize. I just wanted to let you know.
What are you talking about? That's the best part.
You were enjoying it.
That's the best part. Come on now.
I don't know how that got in there, guys. I apologize. I don't know how that wasn't what I was talking about. Let's get to business. I don't know how that got in there. I apologize. Oh, and all they did. Okay, so here we go. Where are we at? Yeah, here it is. Grass. That's what you did. And then at the end of it, he said, "This people."
The federal government is not leaving LA. I don't work for Karen Bass. The federal government doesn't work for Karen Bass. We're going to be here till that mission's accomplished, as I said, and better get used to us now, because this is going to be normal very soon.
He's calling for you to get used to it. What is your response?
I'm not going to get used to it. I'm not going to get used to it, because last I checked, I was elected to be mayor of the city. That did not include a federal takeover.
And this is the most important part of what I got to say here. So allow me to say it as clearly as possible. Anytime the government roams on your streets with armored vehicles, weapons, and camouflage gear in the middle of the daylight on fucking concrete and tells you you better get used to it, that is the moment that you rise up. We're no longer pussyfooting around. I will not get used to it. I will not get used to armored vehicles, weapons, and people cosplaying as military personnel on my streets for no reason. I am not intimidated. We will not get used to it. Take a lesson from the Haitians. There's two ways to fight back. One of them is psychological warfare. We laugh at you. Oh, that's important. Laughing, showing no signs of intimidation, no outward distress, signs of joy, loud music, bullhorns, dancing, tee-hee-ha-ha. Yes, it's important. I've seen it work in many different arenas. Do not poo-poo on psychological warfare. These people get off on seeing people scared. But if you're dancing, if you're playing organized group games with a lot of people, a lot of noise with your bullhorn, and great music, dancing, organizing to show joy, it sounds weird. It really works. That's one way. Psychological warfare is one way. Then maybe those pussy-ass motherfuckers that can't say no will start to fall back just a little bit, start to rethink what they're doing. It works. I've seen it. But now we're also at the point where we may need some physical confrontation. I said it. And if you need to know what that means, ask the Haitians in New York. We are millions. There are 1,000 Ken dolls dressed up like army people, army things, toys, being used as such by their commanders and their bosses. There are millions of us. Now, I can't tell you what to do. America, this is not sanctioned by the rest of the admin team, Sons of Liberty, but there are millions of us, and I will not get used to it. Next time we organize, we will have a peaceful organization, but there's another organization that needs to be happening, is when we see jackbooted thugs running around the neighborhood, trying to get us used to it. We have somebody and a bunch of somebodies who can come out and stand in a line together. There should be neighborhoods rushing to the site to stand together. There are millions of us, and I will not get used to it. Okay.
Right on.
Okay. Here's the question. Some may say that what I'm calling for is a call for violence.
A revolution.
Revolution. Some may say it is improper, and it is not responsible to tell people to come out in the millions if they can, to organize now, phone call now, develop a signal now, develop a code now, and an easy way to contact people, a lot of people at the same time now. I'm not telling you that, I'm just saying, for instance, some people might say that. and I went public because this is important. Some people might say I'm wrong for saying that. Maybe that you organize at the library and put out flyers. Maybe that's wrong.
Hey, flyers can give you a pretty mean paper cut.
No, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I asked the panel.
Well, Baltimore. Oh, sorry.
Too far?
Nah.
Not enough? Or just the right amount? I'll let you start it off, Sonny.
I say it's probably not enough at this point. Okay. People got to get in the streets. You got to get in the streets because this is the only way. You can't get complacent in the madness. I don't think it's me personally. I think what you said is true. I think you got to get tough. You got to get angry. You can't get used to it. And that's the whole plan with this administration.
Don't get over it. Don't get used to it.
Yeah, right. The whole plan is to they flood the zone. So they flood us with all this information and all this chaos, where the point you just get so drained and tired that you just, okay, I can't take this today. I'm just going to turn it off and I'm going to go watch Housewives, or I need to go shopping, or I need to do this. And you just block all that out and you get used to it. You just accept it. Just Donald Trump is a prime example of people just accepting him saying crazy shit off the wall his first time. Make those son of a bitches stand up and, you know what I'm saying, calling people son of a bitches and everything else. Sorry about that.
Someone said today, I like him because he said fuck on TV. I mean,
right. Because it makes him look tough.
At the same time, say, why don't they use decorum?
Right. So everybody's used to him saying things and him being off the wall. They're used to that. That's normal for him. Because I remember when he was saying crazy stuff his first term, and I said, well, would you have that same feeling? You'd be okay if Obama spoke like that? Oh, no, Obama can't speak like that. Well, why can't he? He should be able to say the same things that don't. Well, he's not that kind of person. So
you Democrats are nasty.
Right.
You say
so
nice
you get used to the madness, and then they're able to do whatever. So now I don't think I think what you're doing is good, but I think it needs to be more. People need to get in the street and they need to stay in the streets. They got to keep protesting. Keep protesting.
General strike needs to be organized, and I think there's people that are starting to do that.
Yeah.
But what Doug was saying in the video about, making a joyous rebellion, as the example over the weekend in Baltimore was great with the punk band. Can't think of their name. I dropped it in the
Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah, no, it wasn't them. It was
a reggae band, wasn't it?
No, it
Bad
wasn't.
Brains?
It was in Baltimore. It was,
Oh,
but it was a free, open, no entrance in an outdoor park, and they had people flying in from around the country to attend this, and they got QR codes that so that they could like hook up with other people and organize between.
that's good.
Let me look that up. Turnstile. Thank you, Basta. Turnstile was the name of the band. There was thousands of people of all ages dancing on the stage and pogoing and moshing and having a fantastic time and organizing together. So that's a great example of that sort of thing.
I mean, you don't want violence. I don't think you were saying, I don't see you saying that you want violence. I think you're saying y'all need to get out and you need to protest. You need to do, like Malcolm X said, by any means necessary. Mm-hmm. And they stayed calm, but they did what they had to do back then. So it needs to be on that level. We need a Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? That can point his finger and say, turn this way. That's what we need. Because we got weak politicians in this Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Hakeem Jeffries ain't doing that. I'm not a cocky. I don't need you to, when you talk, I don't need you to sound like you got to spit out a rap tune and that. I don't need to hear all that. I need you to get real gutter with it, because you got to meet these people where they are.
So look, allow me to clarify. In New York, ICE people came to take people away. Hundreds of thousands. Fine, maybe a couple thousand. It was going up to 100 because it wasn't stopping, flooded the streets, and became a meat shield between the jackbooted thugs and the innocent people. So if violence comes from that, that's what I mean. You don't start it, but you goddamn well know that you're not going to let them be violent without you being there to stop it. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Because that's the only thing that they understand. They don't have any sex at home. They have no outlet. They're ugly. They're fat. And they're useless people. And they come out to take their frustrations out on you when it's not on their wives.
Yeah.
So we
and they're cowards.
come out in the millions to become a meat shield between them and our democracy. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Danny, what would you like to say?
I'm with you, Sarge. I am pushing hard for people to start learning about prior resistance movements. I'm pushing people to learn about how the Underground Railroad actually worked. I'm pushing people to read Edward Abbey and learn how to peacefully sabotage these assholes before they can even get going. If we had had a plan and a group ready to move, ready to mobilize at any moment, we could have kept Alligator Alcatraz from going up in 8 days. Just using the techniques of Edward Abbey. And there's no violence involved. There's no hurting people. You know, I am very much a big advocate of sabotage the bastards, shun the bastards, name them, don't give them service, don't give them daycare, don't feed them, don't let them live in your rentals, don't let them stay in your hotels, don't let them rent your cars, don't let them in your taxis. Find these people. And you don't let them in. And you shun them, and you sabotage the fuck out of what they're trying to do, because at some point, let's just put it this way. I can't think of a single dictator who was brought down by concerned letters from politicians. Okay.
For decorum.
We have to be prepared for what is most likely going to be the inevitable. And it starts with groups on the ground, organized to do their little bits to sabotage. When you think about Soviet Russia during World War II, the only reason they survived was because the people, not the soldiers, the people were sabotaging the German lines at every opportunity. And that's what we, the people, need to be doing. We need to be sabotaging their lines at every opportunity. That's where I'm at right now. So you know what? If it gets violent, it gets violent. that's kind of how you win back your freedom. How many times has this happened? Can you imagine if John Brown had showed up at a plantation and the people were like, do we have to be violent about this? I mean, you know,
Yes.
please. So
This black
that's where I
folks,
am.
I'm not talking about you. Let me clear
Correct.
that up. I personally,
Correct.
because I gave an oath, I personally am honoring that oath, and that is your personal decision. But I'm not, black folks. The reason you not being there has what stopped it from being violent already.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, if you're in the black community in Ohio that decided to walk around with long guns and masks on their face to keep their community safe from neo-Nazis coming in on U-Hauls, then yeah, they decided to do that. But there's enough, 13% of the population is black. That means there's over 200 million others.
Yep.
And violence, the way violence works, is it's tactical or is responsive, it's reactionary. That's it.
Yep.
The people out there on the horses, the people out there crunching grass and putting guns in the faces of children to not feed poor people are not tactical. So although my rhetoric may seem otherwise, it's not the violence that matters. It's the people, the numbers. They're scared. They're cowards. They will find an excuse not to be violent if there's 100,000 white people around that say, we're not going to allow you to march here. What are you here for? You have a warrant? That's what I mean.
Right.
I guarantee you that the type of people and the type of violence that these people are willing to commit is not the type that calls for courage. That calls for courage. You have to make them be courageous with their violence, and they will shrivel like raisins in the sun. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Now, if you so feel that you want to be a part of this network, or you want to help these networks, or be a communicator in these networks, or be someone to develop the code words and to go from this neighborhood to that neighborhood so they all get together, that's fine. There's a million ways to help. But it needs to be organized, and it needs to be able to happen quickly. We see this happening. Someone has intelligence that maybe they're coming to do this tomorrow, or we see it happening now. I can call a number, I can text a line, and I know 15 more people will know. And then after that, 50 more people will know. And after that, 150 more people will know, and we'll get the word. And within 15 to 30 minutes, the streets are filled with 1,000, 2,000 people from many different neighborhoods that will stand there like this without a gun in their hand. And all of those cowards will find a reason to stand down and say that they won to save face. That's what I'm talking about. And there's a lot of other, Danny, outstanding with the idea. I mean, there's a lot of other ways to subvert their power, monetarily and just socially. You know, shunning them from the grocery store, from your business, from your friend circle, from McDonald's, is
from your church,
from your church, church folk. All right, we're gonna end it with we're gonna end this section with what Gavin Newsom had to say. Let's watch it. I'm sorry I got lively so early. I was hoping to hold it back some. I apologize. That happened too early. Where was this thing? What's this? Oh, hold on. You know what? Hold on. I want to make sure it's the right one. This is connecting the dots. Laura, which one did you put up? The one, is it the one underneath?
Yeah.
The Gavin Newsom? Okay.
The one underneath is the
Gotcha,
Newsom.
gotcha. All right, family and friends. Let's watch this. Stop there. I forgot about that part. Sonny. This was an announcement. The idea was this is the anniversary of the fires, like 6-month anniversary or something like that. They were gonna, showcase the firefighters and have a feel-good moment. Authoritarianism cannot allow for feel-good moments that aren't about the dear leader.
I forgot about that.
That gives people way too much power and agency within their own life, too much hope. Being able to say that this thing happened and that in a way it's not connected to the dear leader has them feeling like there's hope and there's a way out.
Like stealing the army for his parade for his birthday.
Yeah. That's very important. Like these things aren't just by accident. They planned that.
Yeah.
To ensure that the narrative was be scared, not hopeful.
Right. It is crazy because Obama led with hope. His whole thing was hope, right? He came in with hope. He gave you this extraordinary feeling. Well, for me, it did. My father was alive at the time. He gave him this feeling of, wow, I thought I would never see a black man as president. Donald Trump has come in, and wiped all of that away.
Yep.
Literally wiped it away. Getting rid of DEI and all this other stuff. DEI is the new N word for these people, child.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you already know.
Shit on
it. And that is called wisdom and insight from Laura Malcolm. All right, let's watch my favorite part. Hold on.
Even the most endowed state, $4.1 trillion a year economy, largest in this nation, 4th largest in the world. We don't have the resources.
Did you catch it? Let's hear it one more time. Let's see what we got here, what he's talking about.
Assistance for California. Well, you can't backfill the elimination of FEMA. There's no state in America, even the most endowed state, $4.1 trillion a year economy.
Even the most endowed state. Is it just me or was that a dick joke? I didn't just say it, man. I just say he's trying to get at him where he knows it hurts. Like, listen, even a well-endowed state like ourselves can't backfill for FEMA. But yeah, to the content. What's happening with FEMA is Laura, you can't contain yourself. Look at you. Oh, all right. Well, I'll ask the question. Since I'm on a panel, with all straight ladies. Since I'm on a panel with all straight ladies, was that a dick joke?
I'm not straight.
I think it was. I think it was a diss at Donald Trump.
Yeah, even if he didn't deliberately say it at first, you certainly realized what he was saying and then emphasized it.
Right. That was a slap. That was like little man.
Gavin does not make mistakes.
Right.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom does not make mistakes when he's trying to poke at Trump. It was delightful. It was
absolutely beautiful.
Melania might know about it.
Oh no, Melania ain't seen that thing in years.
I'm not talking about
Stormy knows.
Trump, baby.
She know about nastiness. No, yeah, she cozy up. She cozy up to every leader that he's by. When she went over there, what was it? You know about this, Laura Malcolm? How did she act when they met Trudeau?
Melania and Ivanka are all hot for Justin. That just drove him.
For Justin, well,
why he wanted to conquer us.
And wasn't Melania like super flirty with Macron too? Or Macron? Yeah, Macron.
Yeah, probably a few of them.
Yeah. I said a bad guy's name from a book. I apologize. It's Macron.
But
yeah,
she hugged up on Gavin Newsom.
Sorry.
Oh, she cozied up together with Gavin Newsom.
Remember when they went to the plane? When they got off the plane, when the fires and
she
walked up to him, and he kissed her and whatever, and she was all most of the time she walking around looking like a ship shaker, like she mad as hell.
Hey, Gab, good to see you, Gab.
Right. Put a body on him, y'all. Let me rub up on that real quick.
Let me rub up on that one time. I ain't felt firm flesh in years.
I haven't felt soft hands in so long.
Is she even staying at the White? Where is she? Does she even stay at the White House?
No, I think she stays in New York. Or she stays in Florida.
Appearances and stuff. Like she stood on the balcony like a hostage while you waited for a flyover that never happened. And
she stood on there like a hostage, baby.
Yeah, I think she spends a lot of time up in New York because that's where her son's going to school right now. But she shows up for her obligatory First Lady missions.
Right.
Well, that was the story. But now he's not going to school and doesn't need his mommy anymore. But nobody knows what she does.
Is that the excuse? Is that the excuse?
Well, she's in the White House tearing it up. Aren't they concreting the Rose Garden and stuff? They got it off the chain.
They plowed it down. They're pouring concrete, and they're going to have some kind of patio there. Oh, who knows? And UFC fights.
Right. Wrestling matches.
The complete packification of the White House and the grounds. Yeah.
I think it's sad.
Well,
can I tell you my hot take on the White House?
Go ahead.
This makes some people really happy and it makes some people really mad. I believe the White House, and I hope DHS isn't listening, when this is all said and done, I hope that it accidentally experiences a Nottoway plantation moment, so that we can finally erase the symbol of our country that was built by the slave labor of people who weren't allowed to even vote for the men in there till 60 years ago.
Have you been in my head? Have you been in my head?
I told you, Sonny.
Burn it down.
I told you, Sonny.
Canadians would be happy to volunteer for a second time.
I told you, Sonny. This is not your grandpa's podcast. Burn shit down. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Let them come over here and rebuild it. Rebuild it since your forefathers are the ones who discovered everything and they built this country. Let them rebuild it then, since your forefathers are on your back.
Let them rebuild it. Let them try to make it that beautiful and that strong.
What happens
that's
is
where
whenever we have a statement like that, it's obligatory that we play our theme song. Whenever we have a statement like that, it's obligatory we play the theme song. Hold on, where we at? Where we at? Yes. Yeah.
Burn it down. Yeah. I am not endorsing arson of the White House. I'm saying Should the ancestors decide it's time,
You
I
can't
support
put Kid back now, Danny. It's so
Where's that dog? Where's that antebellum dog?
Please don't go and start cursing people. The ancestors are doing a good job already.
These
Yeah,
are
they
just
are.
jokes,
Yeah, they
folks.
are.
These are just jokes.
You're right, these just jokes. And whenever somebody says something beautiful like that, whenever somebody says that, we put on the theme song. You can put your own lyrics to it. I'm gonna rap for y'all one day. One day I'm gonna put the theme song and stuff. I'm gonna rap one day. I'm just gonna bust out the theme song, and next thing you know, I'm rapping. As a matter of fact, hold on. I think I'm live public now for YouTube. Somebody give $10. I'm a rap. Anybody get $10 in the chat room? I'm rapping. Guaranteed.
Oh, no.
Guaranteed. Watch. So anybody give a super chat? I'm not saying it's gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? Anybody give a super chat of $10? I'm rapping to the theme song.
To the theme song.
To the theme song. All right. So you know what? I wanted to get into. We were already there with
I'm hot.
FEMA. You're hot.
Hot flash.
Yeah. No, that's serious, man. That stuff is serious.
I'm with you, Sonny. I'm with you.
Hey, we got a few people.
Right, there you go. You got
they hit okay. Yeah. All right. You gonna call? Okay. Fine. That's what's up. Let me get this on. Okay. Let me just think for a second. Let me get it back. Do I have to do it now? Hey, the Tumblr. Do I have to do it now, or can I think about it? Can I think about what I want to say?
You said you do it. I think we need to hear that freestyle that made them an famous.
That's what's up.
You got to work the word endowment in there.
Yo, she said say endowment. I'm talking about empowerment instead. Fuck ICE agents. Fuck all the feds. Y'all didn't know? I've been rapping since day one. Doing the black thing since I came out the womb. You don't understand that I'm serious. Drill sergeant, been fighting for this world and empowerment. I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I'm going to slow it down. I'm still a godlike. Don't stop rapping. Just call me the captain. The facts is, I don't give a fuck about Trump or his wife, bitch. Never did. And everybody knows I'm a Sons of Liberty captain. All right, I said that twice. I'm done.
You make me want to rap.
Sign language clapping here.
This has to be a new feature on every live stream of the $10 rap song.
Oh, man. I haven't done that in a long time. That brain was working overtime.
That's hilarious.
Oh, man. I didn't say Sonny in there. Well, but wait a minute. Plus, Sonny came to the dinner table to eat lunch with us. Everybody go see. Tell the people with Sonny and W1. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Let me get that channel link into the chat.
Yes, please put that in the chat. All right.
Thanks, Laura.
Oh man, y'all gotta wait till I'm drunk to give me that. I'll do it again when I drink some more, man. I'm gonna put out another $10 challenge. Let me get some.
We live now. Live in effect.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so
That's my music.
There we go.
Hey.
Sonny said she's gonna rap. Let's go.
The next $10 you rap.
Oh, I can't rap. Let's see.
$10. Sonny said she'll rap.
Next $10, throw on some blues and I'll sing.
There we go.
I already sang at the beginning of this.
I think we got another.
People are gonna be like, "We'll pay you to not." Here's all our money. Please do not.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so after Gavin Newsom spoke, it kind of
I'm sorry. Somebody said to post this on SOL Discord.
Yeah, I just was about to.
Oh,
yeah. Post this link on the SOL Discord. Has anybody got a quick connect to the Discord and server to toss our link?
Yeah. Well, 1 second. 1 second. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh, thank you, Cats. Gifted a membership. Woohoo!
Oh,
now you got a rap.
Oh man, now I got to go to the backpack for that one. You can't just freestyle on a membership. You got to give them something good. I'll come up with something. Woo. Danny said she's gonna sing. Danny said she was gonna sing, man. What happened?
Thanks, Amanda.
I need music. Give me some. I sing blues. You got to give me some music, and I'll make something up.
Okay, all right. We're gonna use that. We're gonna use that. Tell the people with Sunny music. Hold on. Let me get this. Let me get this link so I can put it up in Discord. And not too much silence. I apologize. I just want to do as instructed. I am a military man. I do follow instructions. Now, while I'm waiting on Discord to come up, Gavin Newsom talked about FEMA. That's really what he was talking about when the person asked that question, and he was talking about the well-endowed state of his. Before we get to Alligator Alcatraz, thoughts. What's going on in Texas with the flood? I think it's up to like 130 something people now missing. The death toll rose to 40s as of yesterday. I'm sure that's higher now. And the people who are supposed to be controlling FEMA, what's her name?
The one that killed her dog.
Yeah, dog killer. What's her name?
Christy
Noam. Christy Noam is out there putting out, asking people what should be her official governor picture of one of her dress up.
That's on the worst women of the Republicans this week.
Oh my God! All right, first off, Texas. You constantly vote to shit in your own mouth. Constantly. When there was snow, you lost all electricity because your state decided they wanted to be off the grid so that they could pay dividends and backroom deals with energy companies that only deal with them and to give billionaires tax cuts. When you had a heat stroke and everybody was hot, electricity cut off because of the same reason. When you had a hurricane, the entire world is flipped upside. Everything that happens to you in Texas happens because you vote for people who hate you. You shit in your own mouth. And this now time, I'm sorry for every blue Texan who tried to stop it, but you have now voted to have FEMA never come to help you with this flood. I hate to be callous.
Thoughts and prayers.
But I got thoughts and prayers for you. I got thoughts and prayers for you. What else does anybody else have to say about this? Let me find some footage on it real quick so I can also deliver news and not just laugh at people when they're getting destroyed, because that's bad to do. That's bad.
It's so infuriating. It's Ted Cruz went on another vacation. State is suffering. People are dying, and he's in Greece.
Yeah.
And last time when his people were dying from the cold, and he was in Mexico, and it's just like, what does it take? What goes through the minds of these people that their so-called leader literally abandons them for warmer climates or for more tropical, more beautiful places. When they're in the midst of a huge crisis, there are children dying at these camps. And Cruz is over there in Greece.
He came back in time to be disgusting in front of a reporter. Yeah. I forget what he said. Yeah. It was gross. It was just.
And it's just
he should have stayed in Greece.
I'm shocked he came back at all. I really am. Like I hope the souvlaki was worth it, because
no, he only came back because they caught him. They caught him at the airport.
Yeah, they caught him,
and he had to make an excuse.
Well, I had to wait for the right plane.
I'm from Texas, and I want to say that a lot of the people there, they don't. I think that Texas is actually a purple state, and
it is.
That's fair.
It is.
That's fair.
And I think, well, I know
they're gerrymandered.
They're suppressing people's votes. This is why Ted Cruz gets put back in office, because they can't stand Ted Cruz. They do call Governor Hot Wheels. They call him Governor Hot Wheels. That's a known fact. They do. So when he got offended by that, he should not have, because that's what they call him, Governor Hot Wheels. So yeah, they suppress votes. I think I said to you guys when you were on my channel, I said that with the, I have to re-register to vote because I'm not registered to vote anymore. Out the blue here in Georgia. Just got my mail. You're not registered. You need to re-register. I said, okay, that's fine. I'll do that. My aunt had her had to leave town for a family member who had a health issue. She asked them, I need you to mail my ballot to this address. She sent in the information and everything so she could mail in her ballot. She never got a ballot, so she didn't get a chance to vote. And she was upset about that. So they do anything they can do. I can't remember the name of the guy that's in Texas that sat down. I believe it was with Tucker Carlson, and he basically said that they suppressed 600,000 votes in Texas because those people were not able to vote. They were illegals or whatever, but they suppressed 600,000 votes, and this is why Kamala Harris did not win Texas. He said it out of his mouth.
Yeah.
See, and I'm not trying to say like Texas as a whole, the whole state is messed up for continually putting in Ted Cruz. I just don't understand the people who do vote for him, seeing him do it, seeing him abandon them, and they vote for him anyway, just because there's that R behind his name, and I think Ted Cruz is a really good example. There are a lot of really good examples. Mike Lee in my own state. We need to
overstate his visa.
We need people to start learning again to separate the letter behind the name from the person during politics, because otherwise you just get Ted Cruz in there over and over and over again. And what happens next? Texas burns down and Ted Cruz flies to Jamaica for a week. I mean,
Ted Cruz is gross. He's gross to look at.
Yeah.
I can't stand Ted Cruz. I can't stand him, and I cannot stand Hot Wheels. I wish somebody.
Try having Mike Lee as your senator, okay? It's horrible.
So
what's his name?
Here's the problem. Texas actually would probably be a really dark purple if it wasn't for the amount of cheating, constant, daily cheating. They're the first ones to do anything they possibly can for ID, for gerrymandering, for absolutely anything, right? I just want to say, I'm sorry if it offends Texans, but you guys have school systems that have taken out the after school programs to use those facilities for detention centers, for discipline centers instead. You guys have voted to get rid of all of the school funding and use it for vouchers instead, because you thought only the brown and black people were going to be affected, until you realize that the private schools, you can't afford them even with the voucher. How many times did I see these fatful moments that I lustfully put up quickly with a smile on my face, of all of the prissy moms saying, "Why are you doing this to my school community? You did it to yourself, bitch. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened." And until we understand the connectedness of life, the connectedness of humanity, there's no amount of gerrymandering, there's no amount of this, the disgusting things that they do that can excuse the amount of selfishness and entitlement that goes on in that state, to the detriment of themselves. It cannot be understated. It's ridiculous. Entire school systems, white, black areas, don't matter. Just taking things out of the library, destroying the library altogether to turn it into a correction center. Guns everywhere because you think it's cool and you want to be like John Wayne. I have no sympathy for what happens there. I have sympathy, unfortunately, for the unfortunate people who tried their hardest to vote the right way. But the truth is, man, you guys are going to continue to kick yourself in the face if you just keep up this selfish entitlement and voting for the R no matter what. I hate to say it, man. I just hate it. I hate to say it.
Well, they're basically eating themselves right now, because their white supremacy is so extreme that they voted for the mass deportations, and now all of a sudden their fields are just sitting there. Nothing's happening.
Well, they need to get to work.
People
aren't showing 70% of the crops
aren't showing up. Nobody's growing the food, and they're like, I don't know if it's true. I have been searching for the actual verifiable evidence of it, but I have been hearing a lot on the waves about how a lot of these farmers assumed that when Trump said Latinos were taking black jobs, he meant in the fields. And of course, that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Black people not going to the fields. We ain't doing
not how. It's not happening.
We're not doing that, baby. We are not doing that.
Absolutely not. So Texas is eating itself alive right now. Texas is eating itself alive right now. They have no workers. They have crap for schools. They're flooding and have no way to take care of it. They're going to be hit with hurricane season any day now. And they've brought this all on themselves. And I feel bad for
the people in when it rains hard in Houston, it floods. Crazy.
It floods. Yeah, I've been to Galveston before when it's been really rainy, and you can still see some of the damage from the hurricane that they had back in the 1900s that was so bad. And it's just like, Texas, you did this to yourself. And I understand that it's a purple state. But all y'all that are not red, you gotta do something. I don't know what the answer is. I'm just a blue dot in Utah. I get it, but you're eating yourselves alive. There's not going to be a Texas left after this. At all. There will be nothing left.
Well, they don't live forever.
No.
I'm sure Hot Wheels over there got a couple of bed sores. I know he does.
I hope so.
Yes. Okay, here's the deal. You gotta move.
Yeah.
You gotta move. Especially if you're in a red state right now after this big ugly bill has passed, man, you got to move. You're going to have to let them suffer on their own and do the best you can to pay taxes in a blue state that will do whatever they can to actually help and to bridge the gap. Because I can tell you, Minnesota will not have the devastation that Mississippi will because of this bill. I can tell you that for a fact. Minnesota will not have the devastation and death and close of hospitals and the no infrastructure and flooding and no FEMA. It won't happen there because they're going to be spending their money on things like people, safety, food, schools. While if you're in Mississippi, Georgia's like just a little bit better, so I'm not going to say that. But but their voting laws is getting ridiculous. But if you're in Mississippi and Tennessee, I mean, you're cooked, man. That's it. You're cooked. It doesn't matter that you're not on Medicaid or Medicare because the hospital near you uses Medicaid and Medicare to stay open.
Yep.
No matter how rich you are, your hospital being not open will not save you. Your money will not save you. It won't. And then what happens is the fallout from that, from the economy to all public services, to your own job, to the gas in your car, to the crime in your neighborhood, is going to be atrocious. Move now. Let them pay the cost and pay taxes in a place that will use it to actually help you. That's what I say until they get the picture. Now I know telling someone to move from their home that they've lived in forever is a big ask. I'm just telling you, there's very few options. What's coming down the line, and what one of those things is, well, here we'll watch what happens in a red state. We'll watch what happens with the people who vote, who have unfortunately voted this disaster in, to the poor people, to the poor blue dots in their states. This is what you got. This is what your vote
Fair to say, no
gets.
reasonable person is going to vote seriously. Here's the fact.
You okay?
I just didn't want him to land on any of my keys.
Oh, the cat.
The cat.
That cat is dangerous. That cat is dangerous too, man. You gotta be careful with that cat. That cat always. That cat always trying to disturb our lives. All right, watch this.
He cites a most unexpected figure in his accountability assessment of the terrible flooding, the loss of life, and the horrible suffering that's happened deep in the heart of Texas. That's Ted Cruz country, at least when he's not crisis cruising out to Cancun.
These photos went viral, showing Senator Cruz and his family at an airport Wednesday. You can see him in this video at an airport in Cancun earlier today.
Now, you know what we're seeing unfold from this weekend's tragedy? Well, it's been made all the worse by the GOP.
Oh, he hit his mute button.
Yeah, I don't hear the sound.
There you go.
As soon as
so the sound is coming through my thing.
Yeah.
I was hoping wasn't the case. Let's try this again because I wanted to come through the right way. Let's see. Can you share the sound?
I have a cat lurking in the hallway who desperately wants to come in and scream at all of you, but he's very shy.
He said, "You're not gonna get. He won't, or she won't get the chance to come scream."
He won't actually come in. He hears too many voices, but he says hi.
All right, let me see if I can get this sound to be better. Because if you guys are hearing through the mic, it could be way better. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second.
I think for those of us who are blue dots in our red states, it's especially important right now to be building those networks we talked about earlier in this recording, where we're going to need to be the ones to help harbor the people in danger. the trans folk and the queer folk and the disabled. They're coming for the disabled too. So while you get that set up, Doug, I wanted to just kind of hit on that point. Some of us in blue states are waiting for things like parents to pass and leave an inheritance, which is horrible that we have to depend on that. But
wow, yeah, that's serious, man. Getting those networks together is the most important. That is what we're focused on.
Yeah.
And the next thing that we're focused on, we got 3 things that we're focused on. One of them is this mutual aid. Another one's going to be this $170 billion we're going to talk about next with Alcatraz. But let's just watch this. Let's finish up the flood story. See what it is.
Was first reported.
Fair to say no reasonable person has ever taken this jabroni seriously.
Can you hear
Well, he is the pride of Texas. And in our divinely twisted story, our featured story today, the man once dubbed Lion Ted by Donald Trump, he cites a most unexpected figure in his accountability assessment of the terrible flooding, the loss of life, and the horrible suffering that's happened deep in the heart of Texas. That's Ted Cruz country, at least when he's not crisis cruising off to Cancun.
These photos went viral, showing Senator Cruz and his family at an airport Wednesday. You can see him in this video at an airport in Cancun earlier today.
Now, you know what we're seeing unfold from this weekend's tragedy? Well, it's been made all the worse by the GOP constant buck passing in defense of their leaders' leadership, who, in fairness, as expected, immediately snapped into presidential action mode as soon as the terrible news was first reported.
All of the people that have gone through so much, and God bless the state of Texas. It's an incredible place. Any questions?
Well, sure. Some might suggest that the president that we just saw working so closely with ICE, Cream, and his cohort, Pleatherface, might actually bear some responsibility for this weekend's Texas National Weather Service chainsaw massacre.
We got the warnings on our phones hours later. The destruction had already been done before the warnings came out.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
Well, according to Ted Cruz, his analysis.
Can I just take a second to laugh at that appropriately? Come on, people. You thought it was okay when he came up with when he walked on stage with a chainsaw? You actually said to yourself, I'm still here. I'm still here for this. Republicans, man, y'all some sick people.
There's a man on ketamine with a chainsaw. This is fine. Everything's fine.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No. We got some witty people in here today. I love it.
Analysis of culpability for this disaster. That's the stuff of our main story for you today. Now, before we show you Senator Cruz's devout finger pointing, let's give you a quick taste of his initial assessment of the tragic flooding that happened in his home state.
I know there's been some that want to politicize this senator.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Did you stop that so we can look at that man's hair?
Yeah. No. We're not just going to let this guy come walk on here without saying something. This is the most what is that? Step and fetch it. There's a word I can't say because it'll demonetize us. And we just got that $10. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
It starts with a C. It ends with an N.
It is called a raccoon himself.
Wow.
This guy is the most. It's all right, white folks. You don't got to say nothing. Danny, Laura, you don't have to say nothing. I got you.
That's right.
I'm fighting not to, Sarge.
This is the number one step and fetch it, black face, red lip, bum. House ninja on earth. This is the guy who's praising the squeaky wheel the squeaky wheel tank that was going down. What was that on the birthday? Or he was like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen, Marcel. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen."
The Django, Steven. Yeah, Steven.
Lord, wife, come over here and see what Master done did. Come over here and see what Master done did. It's amazing. That's him. That's him.
Yeah.
That's him. Oh yeah. What is that N-word doing on that horse? He don't belong on that horse, Master. That's him. That's him.
That's
him. Oh, that's him. That is him. All of y'all napping, had a little kid need to go back in the field. You don't belong over here. That's him. That's him. I got more. I'll stop. I got more though. If you need it, I got more. Okay. All right. Okay. I got it. You want one more? Yes, sir, Master. Yes, sir. I'll beat him good. I promise you. That's him.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, that's him. Okay. I just wanted to make sure we didn't just let this go without mentioning who it is we're looking at, in case there was any misconceptions or anything got misconstrued.
I knew about that hair.
We kind of got to push them aside. Yeah. But we got to do something different. Yeah.
No, you got to tell me about that hairline. Come on now.
I knew it was something about that hair in the back. What is that?
A bump it?
A mullet, yeah.
Yeah.
They call it those little bump it things women bought in the 90s to make their hair bigger.
Well, no, you don't
like
where I can't point, but right around there on that hairline at the back, because it looked like he tried to bleach it or something.
I wish I had a pointer.
I wish he didn't have that hat on so we could look at what that hair looked like.
I think people wear those
that's a cord
to keep the sun off their neck. Is that what it is?
No,
it's a cord.
I think that's a cord from his ear.
Oh, okay. I thought that was his hair was lifting up in the back. I was like, what the hell?
That's a cord. That's a cord. He's got that Byron Donalds cut.
Okay.
That's what he got.
That's his brother in arms.
Right. When you see that,
how's his wedding coming, by the way? Yeah. Or was that another one?
No, Tim Scott know he want to marry a man. He just
Tim Scott. They all in the closet.
There's a few of them now. A few of these.
Man, I already know we're not gonna get done with this thing because we ain't even got to alligator Alcatraz yet. I'm still talking about his hairline. I need everybody to understand that moon shape that you see on the side of this black man's face. That is called the Byron Donald. Look at the moon shape. That the hairline from the side of the head going down to his chin, and it has that moon, that perfectly cut moon.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. No, the hourglass. No, see, that's what I'm trying so hard to be black.
That's right. All kinfolk ain't skin folk.
Because everybody's laughing at me and calling me names when I go back home. So I got the moon cut. That's what's happening.
Oh, okay.
And it's still,
I'm sorry, I got confused. I thought we were talking about Ted Cruz's bad hairline because the back of it. That's why I was saying to bump it. It looks like he took one of those lines to bump it.
We're talking about the black man.
There were two conversations going on at the same time. They both have bad hair.
Yeah, but one's a pick me and the other one's a Texas oil slick joint. He wants to be in that club.
That's right.
Yes.
All right, guys. Let's watch Step and Fetch It. Let's see what happens over here.
It comes to protecting our girls, our kids, our community. What can we do? I mean, 45 minutes.
What can we do?
Adults can't even respond in that time.
Well, look, there's a staging and ordering of things. The first thing with any crisis is search and rescue. And search and rescue is still ongoing. There are 10 girls missing. Our prayers are that those girls will still be found. After the search and rescue, you've got to just rebuild. I mean, you look at the wreckage here and this wreckage, the number of homes and RVs and cabins that have been damaged. But there's no doubt afterwards, we're going to have a serious retrospective, as you do with any disaster.
That's right.
And say, okay, what could have been done differently to prevent this disaster? And look, the fact that you have girls asleep in their cabins when the floodwaters are rising, something went wrong there. We've got to fix that and have a better system of warning to
You had one.
You fucking broke it.
It's called NOAA, dumbass. Oh my
You
God.
had
Oh
one.
my.
I would like to just repeat. This is what Step and Fetch It sounds like, people.
Look at the wreckage here, and this wreckage, the number of homes and RVs and cabins that have been damaged. But there's no doubt afterwards we're going to have a serious retrospective, as you do with any disaster.
That's right.
That's right. That's right, Bessel.
No, he should have held him to the fire and said if Donald Trump wouldn't, if Doge and Elon Musk and Donald Trump would have came in and gutted out the NOA, you wouldn't have this problem. Yeah, and don't blame it on Joe Biden because Joe Biden is not here. Remember, because he's half C now, because that's what y'all say about him. So let's not do that.
No, Sonny, you're I think you're talking about someone with integrity.
I can't with these people.
We can't. We let's not. What you mean is someone with integrity. First of all, they wouldn't be working at Fox News if they had that. Second of all, they wouldn't be black working at Fox News if they had. Now, people may say that
makes me sick to my stomach. For real.
Yeah, he's a gremlin.
He's a dweeb.
And what's he doing in camo? He's in a camo hat and shirt. What the hell is he think? It's all cosplay for these.
Is that the one that's always sitting down at Fox News on the couch with the people?
Yeah. Oh,
Lord.
Yes, girl. You know who we talk. This is him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be real good, Massa. I promise. That's him. That's him.
Now let me be some kind of serious journalist-looking person looking down on those poors with their wreckage and everything.
Oh man, that's this guy. He said, "What are we going to do about these girls, Ted?"
That's right.
Now,
and say, okay, what could have been done differently to prevent this disaster? And look, the fact that you have girls asleep in their cabins when the floodwaters are rising, something went wrong there. We've got to.
Could have case you
in their cabins.
Yeah. I can't hear him again.
Now, in case you think that something more could have been done to better help save the victims, well, you're probably right. But don't, for the love of God, blame Trump. No, let's listen to this son of a preacher man. He has other ideas, and it's our featured clip, and it shows us just where Senator Cruz's ultimate devotion lies.
Senator David Brody here. We've known each other for a very long time. It's good to see you, not under these circumstances. Your father, obviously, Rafael Cruz, a pastor. You have a deep faith. I'm wondering if you can address to our audience the question, and it's an age-old question, when God doesn't make sense. I know Pastor James Dobson wrote a book about this. I'm curious to get your thoughts in this time. Good morning to you.
David, it's a question that everyone struggles with. And why does God allow bad things to happen to good people? Why does God allow bad things to happen to young children? And I will say there are theologians and pastors who've been unable to answer that question for millennia. And I don't know that I have any additional insight other than saying God is a good and loving God, and he will help us through this. And I will say in the last few years, I've got several friends who have tragically lost children. And I think it is the hardest challenge to go through. And all I know to do is to lean on God, to lean on prayer, to lean on family, to lean on friends, and just grieve. But it is a grieving process. And look, I think every mom and dad this week has asked themselves, what if that was me? What if that was my little girl? What if that was my little boy?
Yeah.
We have a good and benevolent God
You can stop it.
Allows things to happen sometimes that defy human explanation, and that's where we need love and where we need grace. And this is a time. This is a time in particular for the church to do what the church should be doing every day. But in a time of grief, I think the church has a particular responsibility to step up. And I do think Texas has benefited. We have such a strong community of believers in Texas that you have churches that step in and do the role we should.
What's that old saying? The Lord helps those who help themselves.
So,
Mm-mm.
has everybody thrown up sufficiently yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Ted Cruz is full of
Couple of
shit.
times.
Full of it. It's the same old. It's the same old. Well, I don't know why God allowed bad things. God does not do that. That is not who God is. It's man who allows bad things to happen to people. I'm not even religious, but I am so sick of people like Ted Cruz always trying to justify everything that happens that's bad. Well, it's sad, and we got to pray, and we got to do all this. Y'all not tired of praying yet? Because praying ain't getting it done. I'm not trying to sound rude to me, because you can do whatever you want to do, but it's all bullshit. He don't believe in God. Trust me.
If his God
worked, he doesn't.
He could pray those immigrants away, couldn't he? Just pray hard enough and they'd all be gone.
They speak out both sides of their mouths all the freaking time. And I am so sick and tired. And especially old grimy ass Ted Cruz. I am tired of looking at this little dweeb of a man. I am tired of looking at him. I'm tired of listening to him. I can't take him anymore. I just can't.
Ted Cruz,
it's all bullshit. Sorry.
Ted Cruz is God's biggest mistake.
His mama should have swallowed his ass.
Who wasn't it? What's his name? The comedian said, I like Ted Cruz better than most of the senators, or but I hate him.
Yeah.
So
I think Ted Cruz is a perfect representative of these Christo-fascists who truly believe that they need to make everything as terrible as possible. It is their mission to make things, to not intervene with God's will anymore, because they're ushering in the second coming. I'm full-blown atheist, but I was raised Mormon, and in my undergrad I did a secondary degree in religious studies. And it's even for these people who very clearly do not live the gospel that they are taught, they genuinely, in their heart of hearts, believe they are the good guys. They believe they are doing the right thing, and they genuinely believe everything needs to be up to God. My own great grandma was like this. She ripped my mother a new one when I got diabetes and told her it was because her faith wasn't strong enough, and told her I shouldn't be on insulin. She should be praying for my health.
I cannot.
This is the kind of person Ted Cruz is. They really, truly, honestly believe you have to let God do his thing. We don't understand why God is doing his thing. He'll tell us that at the end when we're all saved. And it's dangerous. It's so incredibly dangerous.
Can I raise my hand?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Let me say this real quick. I grew up I'm from Texas. My grandmother was a Eastern Star. Okay. Every Sunday, when she's Sunday school, she was in church every Sunday. She believed like that. She didn't even wear pants. I'm telling you right now. I've never believed in the bullshit. It is just stories. That's all it is. It's stories. There is no hell. There is no heaven. You exist because you're energy. You are a spirit and energy. When you die, you go right back to the stars. Period. I am so sick and tired. You can believe whatever makes you happy to believe in to make you a better person. Praying is meditation. That's all it is. It's like the Buddha. These people, these Christian nationalist people, they're running straight game because it's all about money. At the end of the day, this country is about money and protecting Israel. So when I said that Kanye was right about that Israel stuff, he was right about that. I don't like Kanye West. I think he's a fool, but he was right about that. And that is what it is. I mean, when you get to studying this stuff and understanding what's going on, this country is an Israeli state. Everything goes to Israel. Every dime. And we over here, Americans, when they tell you they love make America great again, you can't make America great again because you're giving all the money to freaking Israel with their free education and their free health care, and you're gutting it over here. Ted Cruz can kiss my whole black ass.
That's the case. That's the case. See, we give them money, and they can have free health care and free college for everybody. And you will have Republicans here telling you we just can't do it. We just can't do it. But before we move on to Alligator Alcatraz, I want to make sure that everybody realizes the most important part of that was the fact that that was a question asked on a news program.
I'm sorry, I went left. Sorry.
This is called state TV. This is why you support independent media. This is why. This is why you support independent media. Because the question that they gave to a senator of a flooded state, of a flooded area, was, why does God do bad things? Not, where is Noah? Not, what is the response from the government? Not, what are you doing to help the people? Not, what is the rebuild process? The question you got, the question you got from a news organization on cable television was, why does God do bad things? I know you're not a pastor, but your father was. The fuck are you talking about? That's not news. That's entertainment. That's entertainment for stupid people.
That's what it is.
That's what they even say so. They even admit they're not a news organization, but the people they've broadcast to think they are.
The people they broadcast
they indoctrinate these people with this whole Christian belief, so people can, well, God does this and make people believe in something. I'm sorry, that's not real. It's just not. And if you make these people believe in this stuff, and this is their hope. This is how they enslave people.
First
and they get ready to do it again. I'm sorry. Let me be quiet.
And they also can't decide whether their God is a vengeance God or if he's this benevolent, caring God who, everybody should love. Or I don't know. It's all over the place. It's that cherry picking, whatever works at that moment of time that they do.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's no secret. I'm a Christian. And if somebody asks you, why does God do bad things? I'll say, well, it was because of the sin of man and has brought sin into the world. This is the basic answer from the Bible. What's more important is, the fuck are you going to do about it?
Yes.
Well, if it's real, Doug, then the Antichrist is sitting in the White House. Beelzebub is the vice president, and all the rest of them, they ain't nothing but devils. If that's the case. Ted Cruz is an Antichrist too, because it's supposed to be several, right?
Antichrist. That means the opposite of Christ, like and Christ being. All of them. Just like how the church is not one thing or a building, it's the people. The Antichrist is the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right now.
Or Legion.
If you don't like it, change it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get mad
at me. J.D. Vance killed the Pope, allegedly. Allegedly. That was for satire only, but J.D. Vance killed the Pope.
He killed the Pope.
He touched his hand.
He killed the Pope after he fucked the couch. Now, we don't have long left.
And I apologize. I didn't go off on a rant. I'm going off on a rant because I do not.
No, I like the rant. What you don't know is I just got done putting up an entire video on how Christians have ruined the country.
Yeah.
So there's people who to go into it would take so long. But there's people who understand that the teachings is not the same thing as trying to decipher every literal word of stories written by men thousands of years ago. Right. The only person who tells you to do it that way is someone who's trying to fool you about something else.
Control the masses. That's it.
I think it was Tom Powell said on a video either today or yesterday that it's not the Islam state, it's the Christians in this country that are the most dangerous group.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they want to have a theocracy, just like Saudi Arabia, Iran, and every other Muslim country that does whatever they do. Like, and right about now, to be honest with you, the difference is not that stark. Don't let them tell. Right about now, if you live in Texas and you're a woman Welcome to the caliphate, goddammit. That you're there. Your rights are curtailed. Your worth is diminished. Your voice is silenced, and you're a birthing bag.
Right. These men want to go out and have and pregnate 14-year-old girls. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. Get rid of the older women. This is like what's that show? Where they wear the red dresses and the white hats on Hulu.
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale. That's exactly what this is. Because the Christian nationalists are part of this party, part of this organization. That's what Heritage Foundation is. Christian nationalists.
No, they love it. They love it. They love it. All right. So before we get off here, it is so important to talk about this $170 billion to ICE, and I think it's important. I think it's important to just add context. Okay. When you're okay, when you realize that when you're okay with giving more money to them than the entire UK gives to its military, and Australia probably combined, to be honest with you, what you're allowing when that happens is this. I got another video for you guys.
Just so you know, Sarge, I gotta go in 10.
Yep, I've got 9 minutes. I'm gonna show this video and we're out of here.
Okay.
Where's the? Okay, I think it's here. Here we go.
As new information is coming out about the horrific conditions inside this prison camp, which many people are calling a concentration camp. Alligator Alcatraz detainees describe conditions at Everglades facility. Florida still has not released the number of people being detained at what they call Alligator Alcatraz, but for the first time, we're hearing from several men who are being held inside the facility. I will tell you from sources that we have developed, I'm hearing estimated about 500 to 1,000 people are in there.
That's
in
a big gap. I'm not trusting that.
Up to a capacity of 5,000 beds. So right now it's a couple hundred inside the prison. Florida, Limzy Izquierdo, also known as Limzy La Figura, a self-described Cuban urban artist, was arrested for a violent incident and has been at the detention center out in the Everglades since Friday. Quote, "There is no water here to bathe," he told Telemundo 51, adding, "It's been 4 days since he has showered." He believes there are about 400 people inside the facility. Quote, "They give you food only once a day, food that even has worms in it."
For the sake of everyone's humanity, we're going to end it here. What you have just witnessed is what happens when you give ICE and enforcement agencies, what do they have, like $1 billion budget? Now times that by 170, and that's where you now live.
They put that camp up in 8 days, but they can't.
Expect 50 more of those, and then another 50 more in another couple years. Expect 100 more of those camps.
And FEMA is reimbursing them, by the way.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
FEMA's not at the flood in Texas. FEMA's not at the flooding that's been going on across America, and the hurricanes and the tornadoes all across the Midwest all year long. FEMA's not there, but they're reimbursing a concentration camp. open air concentration camp with the concrete floors. Welcome to Auschwitz. Welcome to $170 billion worth of more Auschwitz. When you're ready to build the gas chamber, because it would just be easier to get rid of them that way, they will. If you think I'm over exaggerating, go fucking look in the mirror. You don't build concentration camps and then give another $170 billion. That's more than is given to the federal government to locking up every single criminal in America right now. When you're ready to build the gas chambers because it's easier and cheaper than flying them to anywhere else in El Salvador, that's where it's going to come from.
Gas chambers, that's a luxury. Just throw them to the alligators. That's the plan, right?
It's more fun that way. Maybe they'll videotape it and put it on a t-shirt so you can go buy it at whitehouse.com.
Right.
.gov. And if you don't get it yet, you've already lost. If you don't get it yet, you've already lost. If we're not fighting, if we're not the meat shields, NATO will be. That's the point. There's still NATO, even though we're not in it. And they have a mandate to stop the killing of people and human rights violations and genocides. If we don't fight, NATO will.
Canada will, surely.
Canada will. France will. I already have reports. I have reports from people inside of these countries of their amping up of weaponry, of people seeing blue hats. This is UN forces in grocery stores, hanging around nuclear plants, building up, taking weapons all the way from the north of Europe, traveling to Germany to prepare for border wars. This is not hearsay.
No.
I have government officials that are telling me what's happening. If we don't stop it, NATO will, because the gas chambers, they happen to not be cool with it, even if you are. And they're not blind to it, even if you are. That's the story. I don't have any more good news for you. If you want good news, join up. Join up. Give some money to Political Drain. Give some money to Sonny at Tell the People. Give some money to the Sons of Liberty. Get you a goddamn garden and start feeding people. Build some community. You're the good news. That's all that's left is us. Join up. We got an email address. politicaldrain@gmail.com. Join up like Danny did. Find someone to help. You are the only good news left. And when the gas chambers come, will you say like the other Germans that I didn't know? Because that was the excuse. Learn something. Teach someone. And then come back for more. Sonny, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I apologize for my rant. I want to thank everybody in the chat that, is supporting me. If you're on my channel, and tell the people it's Sunny and W1. My husband comes on every once in a while, not all the time, but he's there. I go live Wednesdays and Sundays, and I appreciate you having me over here. I hope I'm able to come back again.
Of course you are. You better stop that. The whole point is ranting. You ain't seen it? You ain't noticed? Your rant, that's what I'm waiting on. The rant is what I'm waiting on. And quite frankly, I belong to a group of atheist witches that beat my ass about Christianity daily. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Please.
I mean, I'm not atheist. I mean, it's just, I'm not Christian either. I'm a spiritual person. So.
Yeah, and that's what's up. Everybody can believe what they want to here,
right?
Because this is actually America, and I want all opinions. So you will be back as long as you accept me. As long as I didn't scare you, because I don't go this hard when I'm visiting other channels.
you didn't go hard on my channel. I thought it was funny.
Maybe you should. Maybe you should go hard on other channels.
I mean, we got to build up a rapport. I can't just come in there and start talking about, meat shields against the government in somebody's channel.
You might be surprised.
I might be.
But can I say this before we go?
Yes.
I've known atheists and I've had conversations with atheist people, and I'm gonna tell you right now, they are some of the most level-headed, intelligent people you will ever meet, and that is the truth. That's why I started really trying to learn more about religion because of atheist people.
Big facts. Big facts, because Christians don't know anything about their own religion. They'd rather get it told to them by Ted Cruz and the real voice of America. Last words, Danny.
This has been great, Sunny. It was so fun to finally meet you because I've been watching you for a while. So this was I didn't fangirl, so I'm proud of myself, but I wanted to.
Yeah,
everybody sign up. Watch. Be sure to watch Political Drain because we're gonna have lots of ideas on what you can do, boots on ground in your local neighborhoods. We've got lots coming at you. It's not just gonna be. It will be this too. But there will be lots of actual important work you can be doing. Sunny's got important work and focus that you can be doing. So don't give up. It ain't over till it's over. And right now it's not over.
You are the only good news. You personally, whoever's watching this, all 11 of you left. You're the good news. That's it. Make it good. Laura, last words.
Well, I've been itching for a live stream for a while, as you know, Doug. I love the rant, and I love the spark and the interaction and the ideas. And the political drain's growing, and we're getting more wonderful people like Sunny to come on and rant with us. And
Sunny gonna be an honorable. She's gonna be an honorable member before she knows. She's gonna get an email saying, "Welcome to the chat room."
Well, you all are welcome to come rant on my page too, on my channel. Always opened up. Y'all can come on there and just go in.
Awesome. And I will take you up on that. Laura, you got Canadian Drain coming as well as a worst women of the Republican Party.
Yeah, the worst women of the Republican Party, episode number X, Y, Z. I don't know. They're always around, but I'm also going to do a retrospective on Canadian separatist movements, since Alberta is still making all kinds of ugly noises about that, and tie it in with the internment camps that you got there now, plus the ones we had during World War II, holding Japanese and other people. And we have our ugly bits too, for sure. But we can prevent more ugliness, hopefully, and help fight what you're going through.
And I'll end it. Guys, you are the only good news left. When the gas chambers come, it may be worse because now that was in 1940 something. They got better shit now. They got better shit now.
Well, they're gonna just put those Elon Muskrat links in their brain and put them to work in the crop fields, isn't it? And if they don't live, throw them to the alligators. I think no.
Yeah, and you might say that's too much. Well, just go back and look at what we did before. Humanity has never reached its floor. There's always a worse way, and it's coming until we stop it. We also as you can tell, I surround myself with people who are smarter than myself because education is key. Learn the history. Learn the history. Learn from people. Don't just do rants. If every video I do also tries to give you some information, even though it's entertaining. Study. Get the books. Find the banned books. Buy them. Give them to children.
Mm-hmm. Start stockpiling books.
Yep.
And we end it with educate yourself, educate others, and then come back for more. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.